Welcome back to Fit in 15's Total Body Confidence 4-week program. This is week 3, day 3, and as you know, on the third day of the week, we like to focus on mobility, flexibility, stretching, recovery. So we know we've had a couple of hard days this week. We've got a couple more difficult days coming. So let's just focus today on our breathing, our stretching. Let me introduce you to my ladies back here. I've got to my right, Jay. She's ready to get her flexibility on. And then I have to my left, Claudia. She's excited that she's gonna be able to recover today and focus on some stretching. So the first thing we're gonna do today is called a split stance T-spine rotation. So I want you to come into like a standing lunge. We're gonna put both hands into our knee, and then that arm on the outside, we're just gonna rotate our spine to the sky. And then we'll come right back in, rotate to the sky. And so feel free with that inside arm, push on that leg, that knee a bit, so you can also stretch that groin on the rotation. So I'm gonna come back here, I'm gonna mess with Jay a little bit, work on this flexibility of hers. So she comes down, going down for me. She comes up, reaches to the sky, take a deep breath for me, and I'm just gonna stretch even more. She goes right back down. Feel free to switch it up. So we'll go to the opposite leg here. So like I said, both inside, this outside hand, we're just gonna rotate our torsos all the way to the sky. Couple more. Make sure you're breathing this entire time. Remember, today is all about recovery. So I know you may have some soreness, and so we're just gonna try and stretch out that soreness and get us ready to come back at it tomorrow. All right. So now we're gonna get down in a plank position, and we're gonna do a plank downward dog. So we're gonna come down, hands on the ground, down on our feet, and we're literally here in a plank position, core is tight, and just walk it on back. Come right back down. Remember, your back's going to be flat, core is gonna be tight, squeeze those glutes, walk it on back. Back down. So let's check on Claudia here, see how she's doing. There we go. So she's coming back in this plank. If you see here, her back is flat, glutes are tight, and she's gonna come right back up, lift up those hips, and right back down into it. Great work. All right, let me get a couple in as well. Remember, keep that core tight the entire time. Come back up. Right back down. Back up. Right back down. Remember, when you're in this plank position, you want your hands underneath your shoulders. So I'm here, hands are underneath my shoulders, my core is tight, and I'm gonna walk right back up and back down. Remember, continue to breathe throughout this entire process. So now we're gonna stand back up. Very similar, we're gonna do a walkout seal with 3 presses. So almost the same motion. We're gonna stand up straight, come out and walk out. This time, you're gonna dive into this press and then give me 3 presses without bringing your lower half off the ground. So I'm here, chest to the ground, up 3 times, and then walk it right back up. All right, let's go right back down. Walk it all the way out, dip all the way in, extend that chest, and give me 3 presses without bringing your lower half off the ground. 2, 3. Let me check on Jay, see how she's doing over here. So she's gonna walk it out, dip all the way in, get that shoulders back, chest up, and now she's gonna give me a couple presses. Her hips are staying on the ground, her thighs are staying on the ground, entire body, lower half of her body on the ground. Back up. I'll give you one more here. Walk right into it. I'm gonna dip all the way in, stretch it out, and then I'm gonna press up. Remember, my hips, my quads, they're all on the ground. Good work. All right, so we're gonna come up, Get into a lunge for me. We're gonna do some kneeling T rotations with the reach. So I have my left leg up, my right leg is on the knees on the ground. So what I want you to do here is we're gonna open up our arms with a full extension rotation. Keep breathing, core is tight. And we're gonna take that back arm and reach it back to our back heel. So just reach it up, touch the ground. Come back up, back together. Let's get another one in here. And reach. Let's switch up legs here. So we're gonna switch up those legs. I'm gonna check on Claudia back here. So if you see here, she's got her entire torso, and then she's just reaching. Keeping that core tight the entire time. She's breathing the entire time. Come back up, bring it together. One more, open it back up for me. And then she's gonna reach. There we go, keep breathing, keeping that core tight. Come back, there we go. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna do a squat to the sky rotation. So I want you to open up your legs a little bit more than shoulder width apart. We're gonna get deep into this squat. So remember, we don't wanna come up on our toes. So if you have to rotate your feet outward, go ahead and do so. We're gonna come down into a squat. Sit down in this squat here. If you see, my elbows are at my knees. And we're gonna take our left arm and we're gonna raise it to the sky. And let's come right back down. Let's go with our right. Switch it up. Remember, we're sitting in this squat. I'm not leaning forward. All of my weight is back towards my heels. My chest is up, and I'm just leaning to the sky. If you need to come up, shake it out a bit, do so, come right back into it. So let's check out Claudia, see how she's doing over here. She's down in that squat. Reach towards the sky here. There we go. You see here, she's broken that plane in that squat. She's back on these heels, butt's low to the ground, fully reaching to the sky. Let's check on Jay here. If you look at Jay here, same here. She loves to get her butt to the ground, fully extending here. Great work. I'm just gonna pull that back just a little bit more, and she's breathing the entire time. All right, so now we're gonna come down, we're gonna sit down on our butts, open up our legs. So we're gonna put our hands behind our back, behind our head, and we're gonna do what I call seated QL mobility. So you're gonna try and bring that elbow to the knee. So a full torso rotation, come right back up. Make sure you're opening up that chest. So if you need to pinch those shoulder blades, push those elbows out, and then rotate and come down. Back up. Keeping that core tight. Remember, push those elbows out, pinch those shoulder blades, chest up, back down. And we're just recovering today. I just want you to be as limber as you can be. Get rid of any soreness you may have. I mean, this is week 3. We're halfway through this program here. All right, so next we're gonna go into a supine knee rotation. So basically what I want us to do is we're just gonna sit here, and I just want us to open up our legs, almost pushing that knee towards the ground. So I'm gonna open up my leg. As I open up my knee to the ground, I'm opening up my foot so the outside of my foot is touching the ground, coming back up, back down. Keeping my chest up the entire time. And we're just here opening up our groin. If you need to, put more pressure and use your hand to push that knee down as much as you can. And we're just opening up that groin. Let's check on Jay, see how she's doing back here. So Jay has a little bit, her groin is very tight. She does a lot of squats. So we're just trying to help her open up, but we're not gonna overextend. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of pressure as we come down, keeping that chest up. I'm right behind her, so I'm putting some pressure to make sure that she sits straight up, and I'm just pushing down here. And you see, as we push that knee down, her foot rotates as well. There we go. Couple more. But this just open up that groin so you can get deep in those squats. All right. So now we're gonna lay on our side for a side thoracic clock rotation. So let's all lay on our left side here. Knees on top of one another. Both arms up above our head. And we're just gonna rotate like a clock. So that upper arm, we're just gonna rotate all the way around like a clock. And then we'll come right back. There we go. Give me another one here. Full rotation. As that arm comes behind your back, you're gonna rotate your palm to the sky, all the way up. Come on back. Remember, we wanna come back to where we started. And let's switch sides. So we're gonna turn over. Other side, remember, as you rotate that arm, you're gonna flip that palm to the ceiling as it goes behind your back. So we're here, full extension. This is where I start to turn my palm and I go all the way behind my back. And remember, we're gonna bring it right back where we started. Flip it back up. Give me one more here. And remember, we want to continue to breathe throughout this whole process. We don't want to strain, we want to just breathe. All right. There. All right, so now we're going to do what we call the lying rockers. So you're going to lay back on your back, you're going to bend those knees, and then we're going to rock back and forth, side to side here. So I'm back here on my back, knees towards my chest, and I just want you to rock from side to side. Now, if you need to use your hands, feel free. If you want to put your hands behind your head. So remember here, I'm leaving my shoulders on the ground the entire time. I'm not moving my torso, my shoulders are not coming off the ground. My shoulders remain on the ground the entire time while I rock back and forth. Let's check on Claudia, see how she's doing here. So if you notice here, Claudia, her shoulders remain on the ground, and she's just going to rock all the way to that opposite knee touches the ground. She's going to come back, and if you notice, she's taking her time, she's not rushing, she's getting the full stretch in. Great work. I see you back here, Jay. All right, so our next one is my favorite, the scorpion stretch. So you're gonna lay down on your stomach, you're gonna take one of your legs, place it behind your back, and you're gonna stretch as far as you can, touching that toe to the ground. So we're here on our stomachs. I'm gonna use my left leg here, and I'm just gonna reach it far back as I can. So during this stretch, you wanna try and keep your shoulders on the ground. So just touch and go here, all the way back. Ready? So we're just getting that full stretch. Feel free to progressively go extend further each time. So I might start here, just a small tap each side, and then I'm gonna fully extend my leg to get that full stretch in my lower back. There we go. Couple more, that full stretch. If you see here, I'm just gonna hold it. Make sure those shoulders stay on the ground the entire time. Feel free to hold. There we go. Let's check back here, see how Claudia's doing back here. So she's got that full extension, toe is touching the ground. She's gonna come back this way. Same thing, full extension, just hold that for me. Come right back out. One more for me. And so I wanna make sure here, her shoulders stay on the ground. Get that full stretch in that lower body. Great work, great work. I see you back here, same thing with Jay. If you notice Jay here, she's getting that full stretch. Shoulders are staying on the ground, touching the ground. Great work. All right, so we're done with our stretching, done with the mobility aspect of this. Now we're gonna work that core. Total body confidence. We wanna get this six pack. So we're gonna get on the ground. We're gonna do some heel taps. Lay back on your back, and you're just gonna tap your heels, rotating back and forth, working those oblique muscles. There we go, push through. So if you notice here, let's gonna go to J. I'm gonna show you a couple of things here. So if you notice here, if you can't fully extend and you can't touch your heels, you need to bring your heels closer to your body. And so she's just rocking back and forth, working those obliques, slowly bringing her heels back towards her body so she can push through. So if you see there, she's making sure she's touching those heels the entire time. Great work, great work. I see you, Claudia, trying to get it in there. Sit back down. All right, so this next one is what we call the ab extension. There's a couple ways to do this. You can do this on all fours, and then you're going to extend your leg and arm, opposite leg, opposite arm at the same time, keeping that back flat, tightening those glutes. And if you want to add a little bit more intensity to this, you can get on your back, crunch those knees and those elbows together, same arm, same leg. Remember, we want to crunch those abs. Let's go check on my ladies back here, see which modification they've chosen. So if you look here at J, if we go right here to J, she's on all fours here, fully extending, keeping that core tight, opposite arm, opposite leg. The glutes are tight as she kicks out. Great work. Now if you come over and you notice, Claudia has chosen the other modification. She's back on her back, and she's gonna fully extend her arm and leg, but the same one at a time. So for here, she's fully extending all the way out. Switch it up for me. All the way out, there we go. And you may not be able to hear, but she's breathing the entire time. Make sure that you're breathing. Great work. All right. So now we're in our last exercise, working this core. We're gonna go into a reverse plank. So throughout this program, we've gone into a hand plank, we've gone into an elbow plank. This time we're gonna be back on our backs. I want your heels into the ground, toes to the ceiling. You're gonna put your hands behind your back, thrust those hips up to the air, and just tighten that core. So as I'm thrusting my hips forward, I'm squeezing these glutes as well. Now, say you want to add a little bit of intensity to this, you can rock back and forth. So I'm pushing my toes towards the ground, keeping my hips up, keeping my core tight, and I'm rocking back and forth. And make sure we're breathing the entire time. All right, great work today. Like I said, we just got through week 3, day 3, mobility. We're bringing the intensity tomorrow, so I hope this was an opportunity to help you recover from Monday and Tuesday. We're back at it tomorrow. Bring it all you got. Build that total body confidence right here, right now. Great work, ladies.